Rebooking WCW Starrcade 1997. And I did two other WCW pay-per-views, Spring Stampede 99 and Starrcade 98. So here I'm doing Starrcade 97. This might be the last WCW one I do. I just want to do a few WCW pay-per-views and, you know what I'm saying, switch it up, not just do WWE pay-per-views. So, yeah. Financially, Starrcade 97 is WCW's biggest pay-per-view. It did like a 600,000 buy rate, 700,000 buys or something like that. Pretty good number. But the NWO was hot. 1997 was a strong year for WCW. That is their best year, actually. That's their best year, 97. The whole year they had beat WWF in the ratings. NWO was going strong. NWO versus WCW, well, NWO versus Sting. You know, Sting representing WCW, being their main guy to fight off the NWO guys. Hollywood Hogan is the WCW champion. Yeah, it's been a year-long build-up for the Sting versus Hogan match that they did, and boy, they disappointed with the match and the finish. Actually, the whole show disappointed, and that's why I'm here, Don DeLeon, here to book it, rebook this mug. I got 8 matches. It's only one match that I kept the same here. It's only one match that originally happened, so basically a whole new card. Let's get right into it. Match number 1. It's Ultimo Dragon versus Rey Mysterio Jr. Yeah, they was calling him Rey Mysterio Jr. in WCW. I just call him Rey Mysterio. But yeah, it's Ultimo Dragon versus Rey Mysterio. The winner will face Eddie Guerrero later on in the show for the Cruiserweight Championship. I think this would be a pretty good match. I had this in my rebooking for WrestleMania 20 as well. But this is WCW. I'm gonna have Ultimo Dragon get the W here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have Eddie Guerrero come from the crowd or somewhere and cost Rey Mysterio the match, like a low blow, or throw him off the top rope as Rey Mysterio is trying to go for a move with the top rope. Guerrero can just push him out of nowhere or something, whatever. And Dragon gets a W by doing some move or something. And then after the match, Eddie Guerrero attacks Ultimo Dragon. You know, he's trying to make sure he's even weaker when he goes into the match later on. Eddie Guerrero's trying to make sure he has an even bigger advantage. So yeah, Ultimo Dragon gets a W. Match number 2. This did not happen as well. It's Goldberg versus Scott Norton. Scott Norton is a part of the NWO. Goldberg making his Starrcade debut. This is his first Starrcade pay-per-view. Starrcade is like their WCW's big pay-per-view. It's like the WrestleMania. Goldberg had just made his debut like 3 months before this. So like, yeah, the end of September. So he only been in the company for like 2-3 months. Undefeated here. This is still early on. This is, like I said, it's early in his WCW run. So he's not getting the Goldberg chance and stuff like that. Goldberg originally went against Mongo, Steve McMichael. No. Goldberg goes against Scott Norton here. I think it'll be, 2 big guys. I'll keep the match by like 5 minutes. Goldberg not the best wrestler. Do some power moves from both of them. But Goldberg, make it a nice showing for Goldberg. And Goldberg gets the W here. Goldberg gets the W. Undefeated still. And this is his first Starrcade pay-per-view. Match number 3. This did not happen. It's Macho Man Randy Savage versus Chris Benoit. They had Randy Savage in a 6-man tag. His partners, I think Might have been Scott Norton and Vincent. Nah, man, come on now. I'm going against Ray Traylor, the Big Boss Man, and the Steiner brothers. What a waste. Chris Benoit was going. He was originally supposed to go against Raven, but Raven was injured. This pay per view had a lot of injuries or people not showing up, no shows, and stuff like that. Other stuff going on. So the card had to get switched around a lot. So yeah, Benoit was supposed to go against Raven. Raven was injured, so they put him in there against Saturn in a Raven's rules match, a hardcore match. I don't have that match here. I have Macho Man Randy Savage versus Chris Benoit. I think this is something better for them to do. I think it'd be better. I think it'd be a better match than what both of them had. Like I said, it's Starrcade. This is like supposedly their biggest pay-per-view of the year. Their WrestleMania. I'm gonna give Savage the win. He cheats to win though, but let Benoit have a great showing though, because Benoit should be one of those guys that gets pushed, into the future. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be one of those guys who can be in main events and stuff like that. At least he should have. But yeah, Savage wins. Match number 4. This did not happen. I got The Giant versus Scott Hall. Originally, it was supposed to be The Giant versus Kevin Nash. The match never happened. I guess, like I said, these no shows and people are injured or, stuff like that, whatever they got going on. Kevin Nash didn't show up. And it was supposed to be The Giant versus Kevin Nash. I guess they said he had something wrong with his heart or something had happened with his father or something. I don't know. But some people said he didn't want to put the Giant over, which is probably true. But they ended up having the match, a month or two later. Anyway, here I just had Scott Hall take his place. And I'm going to have the Giant win. The match don't go too long. Just have the Giant have a good showing. Maybe like a 6-minute match or so. Something like that. They had a segment where Scott Hall came out talking on the mic. Came out to the ring talking on the mic, cutting the promo. And the Giant came out and chokeslammed him. So I might just have a match. That's what I did here. Anyway, match number 5. This did not happen. It's for the United States Championship. Diamond Dallas Page, DDP versus Saturn. Originally, DDP went against Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect. Nah, they had that match so many times on Nitro before this, I believe. And it just, nah. I had Saturn replace Hennig. Figure maybe it'll be a better match. Saturn's a good worker. DDP will work hard, especially if he's in there with another good worker as well. And it's for United States Championship. DDP retains. He retains the championship. Not much else to say about it. Match number 6. This did not happen as well. For the Cruiserweight Championship, Ultimo Dragon versus Eddie Guerrero. Earlier in the night, Ultimo Dragon went against Rey Mysterio. He defeated him because Eddie Guerrero interfered. And Eddie Guerrero attacked Ultimo Dragon after the match. Make sure he's still weakened even more, heading into the match later on, which is right here, right now. And I'm going to have Eddie Guerrero win. Dragon puts up a good fight, great effort, but in the end, Eddie Guerrero wins. He retains the championship, the Cruiserweight Championship. Match number 7. This did not happen. For the Tag Team Championships. The Steiner Brothers versus the Faces of Fear, Ming and the Barbarian. So yeah, you got Rick Steiner, Scott Steiner, They're the champions going against Ming and the Barbarian. Faces of Fear. Like I said, the Steiners were in a 6-man tag, a pointless 6-man tag, a waste. I think this would probably be a better match, something better than that. And the Steiner brothers get the W here. They retain the tag team championships. Now, the main event, I kept it the same. It's Hollywood Hogan versus Sting. What I'm going to do here is, the match is not going to go very long. Probably about 7 minutes. 7 minutes. And Sting pretty much whoops his ass. Because originally it went about 15 minutes or something like that. And it felt like Hogan just dominated him, Sting. But here it goes 7 minutes, maybe 8. 7 minutes is fine. And Sting pretty much whoops his ass, dominates him. And yeah, Hogan, you know what I'm saying? He get a couple moves, a few moves, a low blow, something like that, rake to the eyes or something like that, a slam, elbow drop, probably his finishing move. I'm gonna have Sting no sell that shit. And whoops his ass some more. Stinger splash him in all 4 corners. And he's gonna do the Scorpion Deathlock. And that's it. Hogan taps out. New WCW champion, Sting. No screw job, no fast count finish, because originally it was supposed to be Hogan hits the leg drop, pins him, and the ref was supposed to do a fast count. Fast count Sting. Bret Hart was come out and restart the match, whatever. And Sting would end up beating Hogan. That's how it's supposed to be. None of that stuff here. Just a clean finish. Sting dominates him, whoops Hogan's ass, and gets the W. That's how it should be. That's how it should have been. But WCW somehow managed to fuck it up. What a shame. And as for Bret Hart, I would just save him for the Nitro, the next night after Starrcade, 97. He had recently signed to WCW. And he's fresh off that Montreal screw job that happened a few weeks to a month before this or something like that. So yeah, that still got some buzz. There's still some buzz around that screw job and everything around that. But yeah, that's my rebooking of Starrcade 1997. WCW Starrcade 1997. I think my rebooking is better than the original. The show that we got. Way better. Yeah. Because the show that we got was garbage. I had watched it on YouTube many years ago and stuff like that. And sometimes I still look at reviews of it and watch highlights of it, and them fucking up that Sting and Hogan match, just that right there just killed everything, you know. But yeah, I think my rebooking is better than the original show. What do you think?